Jai Gurudev. Today we will continue reading My Life, Its Legacy and Message. Chapter 14. My Request and Assurance to My Own People. I have resolved to apply the powers gifted to me by divine grace and acquired by sadhana in shaking and transforming eminent persons of the world in the various fields of human endeavor. These include politicians in power, wealthy persons, scientists, manishis, etc. They will be of ordinary looking level as well as topmost level. Those who are at the topmost level are mostly egoistic and rigidly opinionated. I am not confining my action to persons of topmost level, but even ordinary looking persons of the aforesaid four types are being taken up within the orbit of the transforming force. The second category within whom I propose to work is of awakened souls who are greatly born in India. No other country has produced so many great men, rishis, manishis, devtas as India has done. It will be my endeavor to convey the message of Yug Dharma to souls who have accumulated good sanskars during their past births, and will exhort them to come out of their illusions and be contented with minimum resources to meet their personal basic needs. The seeds of whatever they possess extra should be sown and grown so that they could be reaped and multiplied 1,000 times. It will not be of practical significance if I restrict the applicability of this principle of myself alone. Pragya Parivar is large and far-flung, and the fertility of India is also well known. My scheme does not include India alone. It is global. It is therefore necessary that a community of awakened souls be available in every field of human endeavor in all the countries to make the campaign of transformation of thoughts, Vikar Kranti Abhiyan, widespread. The methods of working will vary in accordance with local conditions, but the object will be one and the same, of cleansing, of sublimating and refining thoughts and emotions. This is the foundation of Pragya Abhiyan. We will try to reach the goal like a shooting arrow. Those of heroic and adventurous mold will feel the tug of a force awakening, goading, and shaking them. The need of the times and their inner inspiration will also awaken such person. Even a cock rises up and starts crowing in the small hours of early morning. There is, therefore, no reason why conscientious and courageous persons, full of loving kindness, will not rise to the occasion and hear the call of Mahakal. It is certain that my visible-invisible inspiration, in the need of the time, would jointly have the desired effect. It is visualized that a sizable number of persons belonging to this category will emerge and will soon be visible. The third category is of persons belonging to Pragya Parivar, with whom I have personal attachment and deep affinity. People do not have, but I have the recollection of their other several past births. I have collected all such persons with whom I had intimate relationship in the past by coincidence or by deliberate efforts. Akhand Jyoti and constructive programs launched by this mission have been acting as uniting factors in this respect. There is mutual guardian-child bond of affection between us. Children, by their very nature, want something or the other from their guardians, whether it may or may not be useful or necessary. This affectionate tussle goes on till the children becomes mature enough to understand the difference between usefulness and futility. Whether by faith or habit, there is such a strong bond between us that is not limited merely to the exchange of thoughts and personal contacts. Several Parijans are facing difficulties. Most of them are entangled in some problem or the other. Some persons want to be in better worldly conditions. There may be several reasons, but the fact remains that people come to me for the fulfillment of some desire or aspiration and express it, with or without speech. Their faith is reassured when they find that what they wanted has been fulfilled, if not fully, at least partially. This is not a relationship of a beggar and a benefactor, but of a guardian and his ward. If a calf does not suck the milk of its mother, a serious problem is created for the cow. It is not the cow alone which gives milk to the calf. The calf also gives something to its mother. Although outwardly a regular record of a membership of Gayatri Parivar, Pragya Parivar is maintained, and the condition of regular contribution is attached, the reality is that in an intimate relationship of close affinity of past births, of which I am well aware, in the background there are several miraculous events which I remember very well. Both the sides try to come closer and are always keen to do everything which can be done for the other. This is not mere imagination, but a reality which is experienced by both from time to time. This third category of persons who are my children have, no doubt, helped the mission, but it is a secondary matter. The main thing for me is how to get the joy of seeing them happy. Up till now, we met, talked, and enjoyed the company of each other, but that facility has now been withdrawn. In this, there is no question of time or convenience. The only reason for this is that the routine external contacts disturb the focus required in Sukshmikarana sadhana, with which the fate of humanity is linked. If the matter had been about my own personal liberation or attainment of siddhi, or heaven, it could have been easily postponed. But the times are so critical that not a moment can be wasted. There is no alternative but to take up a position on the front, like an honest soldier. Parijans are therefore requested to leave me alone with a view to enabling me to concentrate on Sukshmikarana sadhana. I reassure all my children, Pragya Parijans, that if they refine their inner consciousness, a little they will feel a deep intimate affinity with and proximity to me, because my astral body will become more radiant and remain vibrantly alive till 2000 AD. It will instantly reach wherever necessary and give the needed affection, cooperation, advice, guidance, etc. There is not going to be the slightest change in my habit of helping people in their difficulties and in their sadhana. They will get this benefit now to a greater extent. My Gurudev lives in his astral bodies in the Himalayas. I have experienced his constant proximity for the last 63 years, although during this time there were hardly a few occasions of 3 days each when I saw him face to face. But so far as faith and devotion are concerned, they were as intense as of Eklavya, Mira, and Ramakrishna Paramhans towards Dronacharya, Sri Krishna and Kali respectively. Those who will sublimate their feelings in devotion will find it comparatively easier to experience proximity to me. Children do want something from the elders, but the latter also expect something from them. They want the children to answer the call of nature at the appropriate place, follow etiquette, go to school for studies, and observe similar and other disciplines. I have also similar expectations. Sri Krishna had lifted Govardhan with the help of unpolished Gwalbads. Hanuman had gathered bears, monkeys for his help. I cannot by myself alone accomplish the task of new creation. This is a task which needs cooperation of others. When so-called wise persons did not come forward, I gathered a family of childlike persons and started doing whatever could be possible. I have always been conscious of my duties and responsibilities towards my children, but there is only one thing to which I would like to draw the attention of the Parijans. I want each one of them to contribute their time and resources to the maximum extent to the mission, because for accomplishing great works, great persons and resources are needed. Every individual belonging to Gayatri Parivar is potentially a great person. He has ignorantly worn a thin mask of smallness. His real face will be visible as soon as the mask is removed. The parable of lion cub, who has brought up in a herd of sheep, applies to each one of the Pragya Parijans. My guide tore away in no time my garb of smallness and dressed me up with resplendent garments of greatness. For this rejuvenation I had simply to get liberated from the slush of greed and illusion. I had to overlook the advice of others and summon up courage to accept the joint decision of my soul and God. Self-confidence to walk alone was aroused, and I marched ahead, regarding high and noble ideas as symbols of God. After that, I never felt alone, nor did I ever feel that I was being neglected or was without any resources. No sooner did I turn my face towards the truth. The fog of untruth disappeared. My request to all the Parijans is that they should not read this work as a mere narration of a life story. They should deeply ponder over it and take it as a saga of siddhi, or self-realization, that is achieved through sadhana, or self-discipline, and divine grace. They should also understand that my steps have advanced in the pursuit of Rishi traditions, by presenting the path of spiritual awakening worthy of being followed by others. One should understand what the real nature of true spirituality is. A person will be benefited by spiritual realization to the extent to which he will be able to integrate idealistically his inner illumination with the outer brilliance. My legacy and message to all my close and intimate Pragya Parijans is that they should learn something from my life and find out the reality behind the process of my sadhana. They should themselves examine how far I have succeeded and try to follow me intelligently and resolutely according to their capabilities. This is a bargain of profit, not of loss. End of chapter 14, and end of book My Life, Its Legacy and Message by Pandit Sriram Sharma Acharya. Jai Gurudev.